It got rough, so I finally said to him, "Dad, you gotta get help."
As a family member or friend, you may be the first to notice when a veteran you love has been going through changes. Things like withdrawing, drinking more, or increased anger could be a sign of a larger health concern, but help is available.
Dad finally went to VA for one-on-one and group therapy and got some really great tools to help him manage things. And I got my dad back.
Listen to hundreds of inspiring stories at maketheconnection.net and learn how you can support the veterans in your life. Treatment works. Recovery is possible.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 75 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in stable condition at the hospital this morning after being involved in a motorcycle crash overnight. It happened around 3 this morning in the south side, East Carson Street and Arlington Avenue, the intersection. Police say the man lost control of his motorcycle due to a loss of air in his front tire. He hit a curb, and the man was not wearing a helmet. A crash, though, involving a motorcycle and a pickup truck has left a man dead. This crash happened around 1:30 Saturday afternoon in the 100 block of Vance Road in Cross Creek Township. That's in Washington County. Police say the man on the motorcycle, 37-year-old Zachary Strohmeyer of Avella, crossed into the westbound lane and hit a Chevrolet Colorado head-on, the pickup truck. Strohmeyer died at the hospital. The teenage driver of the pickup truck was taken to the hospital with no word on their condition. That crash is under investigation. Crash involving a Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus left 4 people injured. That crash happened Saturday morning just outside the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Car that struck the bus was totaled. The passenger inside the car was taken to UPMC Mercy in serious but stable condition. The bus operator and a passenger on the bus were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A second passenger on the bus took himself to the hospital. Fort Pitt Tunnel reopened after about an hour after the crash. Well, criminal homicide charges are being filed after a man was found dead in his home Friday afternoon in Fayette County. 60-year-old Alan Newcomer was found dead in his home on Waltersburg Road in Manallen Township. Fayette County DA's office has filed criminal homicide charges against 29-year-old Ryan Tribble in connection with Newcomer's death. State police say the two men got into an argument before Tribble admitted to police to hitting Newcomer in the head multiple times with a hammer. Tribble is also charged with tampering with evidence. Starting today, Port Authority Police will be ticketing drivers who drive in those red bus-only lanes downtown. Lanes have a special red painting on the street, like 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, and Liberty Avenue. Drivers caught using those bus-only lanes could receive a $25 ticket with possible additional fees. Only buses and emergency vehicles are permitted in those special lanes. KDKA Radio News Time, 11:03. AccuWeather forecast on the way.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
20 ribeyes for $39.
The Backyard Butchers are here right now with 20 ribeye steaks for only $39. That's less than $2 a steak. Just look for the big red truck in the parking lot right now at Tractor Supply in Natrona Heights or Tractor Supply in Finleyville. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials. 20 ribeyes for $39. And for a limited time, get 2 pounds of crab legs for $39. Go to backyardbutchers.com for more info. Cash, credit, debit, and EBT accepted. That's backyardbutchers.com.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Hilton Garden Inn in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings humid conditions once again. Plenty of clouds, a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm with a high of 84. Then any lingering evening thunderstorm, especially south of the city, gives way to a clear sky tonight with a low of 62, followed by a rather nice day tomorrow. Low humidity, plenty of sun, high 79. Then sunny Tuesday, high 82. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
On Thursday morning, the White House warned the nation of a looming energy crisis as demand for AI technology increases. 3 projects announced at the Energy and Innovation Summit will respond to America's growing need for electricity. First, Westinghouse plans to build 10 of its large AP1000 nuclear reactors around the U.S. The economic impact in southwestern PA is projected to be $6 billion and 15,000 jobs. Next, a redevelopment group plans to buy $15 billion of natural gas from EQT to fuel the largest plant of its type in Homer City. Finally, the Frontier Group plans to spend over $3 billion to convert a coal-fired power plant in Shippingport to a natural gas-powered plant. 3 huge wins for the region. Another summit success was Governor Josh Shapiro's participation in a panel discussion with Senator Dave McCormick along with Senator John Fetterman's support for the event. Tuesday was a major turning point for our region toward a bright economic future.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, for those of you looking right now at Mr. Diolis and I on the Metropolitan Window video screen, and if you're not, you can by going to kdkradio.com and clicking on KDK Watch. Mr. Diolis in my hand, my smartphone, and there is a bunch of print here. This is what you call the rundown in this business of broadcasting, and I work hours painstakingly throughout the week to come up with the best show possible. So in the next 2 hours, we're going to welcome a couple of guests. I'll tell you about them in a moment. We're going to talk about that all-star game. We're going to talk about Paul Skeens. We're going to talk about mechanical umpires. We're going to talk about the Pirates who are struggling, and this means that maybe some of their top-notch talent may be headed out of town with the trade deadline. We'll talk about that first-round selection at number 6 in the MLB draft. Another pitcher? Are you kidding me? We got a lot to do in the way of baseball, but we're going to talk also about the Open Championship. And last time I checked, he's in front by 7. Scotty Scheffler seems to have this one in the books. But we're going to talk to Steve Hopley, who is the golf pro at the Swickley Heights Golf Club at the bottom of the hour. Also, the NBA All-Star game was okay, but the WNBA All-Star game was really cool. We're going to get to that last night, talk more about expansion, and being that he's a professional agent and an attorney by law, the whole negotiating thing that is going on with the WNBA, wearing T-shirts during warm-up saying, oh, it's what you should be paying us. We'll talk about that. Really cool stuff. We're going to talk a lot about Pitt football. We're going to talk about the Steelers. The camp is just around the bend. And we also have joining us at the top of next hour, Steve Higgins from the Larry Bruno Foundation. He, of course, legendary high school football coach, one of his many standout athletes, none other than Joe Namath, who he enshrined into Pro Football's Hall of Fame. They've been working for years getting the museum up and running. I mean, memorabilia that if you're coming home and you're listening on the Odyssey app for a vacation and you love King football, you got to get there. They're going to have a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Friday. I've been spending a lot of time helping them with that. So Steve will be here coming up right after the new news. So I think that is a very full show, do you not?
Sounds like a packed bunch of entertainment that if I wasn't involved, I would be listening.
All right, so here's the deal. they get this Seth Hernandez. He's out of high school, like Connor Griffin from last year, and then Skeens the year before, another first-round selection as a pitcher. Does this team need more pitching?
Every team needs pitching, and you know, the person in me who's going to say, well, I'm a naysayer, and now I'm going to say, well, we need the next Skeens anyway, so maybe when Skeens moves on in a couple of years, this is the next Paul Skeens, but there's nobody who seems to be feeling that way about this kid. It's not a can't-miss prospect by any stretch, but there was no jazz with regard to this year's draft. Maybe because the Pirates didn't have the number 1 overall pick, but I didn't feel like there was energy, any emotion, nothing that was enough to get you excited about to really flip over to MLB Network to watch it.
No, and I think also being that it was that whole All-Star time, that just kind of took a little bit of the luster off it as well, too. And I know they usually do it this way, but it didn't have a lot of sex appeal, no sizzle in the steak, if you will. The way they've been playing against the White Sox to start the second half, is it time really, and as much as we love them, to go back to square one? And could this mean they should be thinking about getting rid of some of their top-notch talent and see what they can get in return? I know the Dodgers need somebody in the bullpen, maybe Bednar, and Brian Reynolds, $100 million man, not living up to it. So how much longer can you afford to pay him? So do you think some of these so-called stars of the Pirates, because of the recent woes, because this season is pretty much lost, will be headed out of town?
Yeah, your comment, top-notch talent, brought a smile to my face, because is there anybody that we have that could be defined as top-notch talent? But from what we have, I think everybody is for sale, except for the big right-hander. Other than that, everybody can be had at a price. But again, they've been playing so poorly, they're not going to command any kind of major prices. So it's really disappointing to see how
the White Sox. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and they had two nice crowds, and just got hammered both games so far. And with the Mac Miller bobblehead night and all that stuff.
God rest his soul. I love Mac Miller. He died way too soon. They were lined up literally across the Clemente Bridge. But it's pretty sad that you have to depend on something like that to get that much excitement. I mean,
but Friday night they had 27,000 people there. They didn't have, there was...
I know. It's the ballpark or it's a bobblehead
But Rob,
night.
Here's the thing: this city has supported this team
forever.
And that's the shame of it is we look like the buffoons. Those of us who are still going to games look like idiots because we're just giving over money and giving over money.
And that chant of "sell the team," that's just really tough to listen to.
Well, not anymore. To me, it's kind of a rallying cry.
It's a battle cry.
Hey, come on, either.
But don't you think this team has enough talent to be at least better than this? Shouldn't they have won a couple, especially against the White Sox? I mean, come on.
What did Dennis Green once say? We are what the record says. We are who you thought we are.
And Rob Manfred, the commissioner, came out and had some really nice things to say about Pittsburgh. Look, I'm going to say it. I think they need a salary cap. And I probably will never happen, but I don't think any of these small market teams will ever be a part of the Fall Classic. And it's probably going to be teams like the Dodgers and like the Yankees and Tampa Bay, which I still can't figure out how they do it, for years to come. I don't think the Pirates, if the game stays the way it is, no matter who the owner is, unless you have somebody like Mark Cuban who decides to buy him because he doesn't own the Dallas Mavericks anymore and he starts to spend frivolously. Even these teams just spend big money. I mean, you look at Juan Soto. I mean, who knows? I don't know what the formula is, but I think baseball's broken right now.
I was just going to say, Manfred can say what he wants and talk about the game is healthy. The Major League Baseball is not healthy right now.
No, it's not.
It's hurting, and it's not as good a product as it once was. Now, the All-Star game, it was a good show.
It was.
And the Home Run Derby was a good show.
Yep.
That was sacrilege the way they ended it with a little home run derby, and then the non-baseball purists who are saying, "Hey, maybe we should do that to end regular season games."
But listen, Schwarber, I mean, 3 for 3, that's pretty cool. The swing off, but how does Aaron Judge and Ohtani leave the game? They left the stadium. Now,
so did Skeens.
I know.
Yeah.
See, now that's look. That's not being a team player. I mean, you should.
It's an all-star team. That's all about me.
Well, you're supposed to stay with your team take a couple of photographs, do what you need to do, and then leave. I mean, like, where you have to go in that much of a hurry? Last time I checked, you have a salary that you can keep a few bars open or wherever you're going to go.
Well, perhaps what they were doing was they had their flights booked to get to somewhere so they could get a couple of days off at a beach somewhere. I'm not.
Let me ask you something. If you were blessed enough to play in an all-star game, to be amongst that, there wouldn't be any beach on the planet that couldn't wait another day. That's my thought. I know you're the agent, you're around these people, but look, I've been doing this for 40 years, and when there's something historic happening at this station, I'm here till the last donut's gone. I mean, you just got to be a part of the team. That's the way it's supposed to be, man.
Well, would they have left a Yankees or a Dodgers game in similar fashion?
No.
Probably not. So,
I don't know. Listen, it just makes me more and more yearn for Pete Rose to be still playing baseball. When things matter, they just don't seem to have this. It's just frustrating to me. And if I'm a Pirate player, I'm really frustrated right now. I mean, and then you had O'Neill Cruz in that home run derby contest. Great. But how do you run out of gas? I mean, when you're 27 years of age.
Oh, no. I can see that. I mean, you put that much effort into each one of those swings. I don't care how well conditioned you are.
They look great, and it was great, but you shouldn't be running. Listen, I'm 68, and it takes me a little bit longer to run out of gas than that now. Come on. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got some really good stuff coming up, and we're going to talk about the WNBA. How about that for the second segment? That was a spectacular night, even without Caitlin Clark playing. It was a really nice couple of days. And don't look now. I'm on that prowl to get a team here in Pittsburgh. I want it to happen. I'm going to explain more when we get back. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show. Scotty Scheffler in front by 7. The Open Championship, Royal Port Rush. Steve Hopley from Swickley Heights. That golf club will be here to talk about it at 11:30.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Want to avoid a big home repair headache? Call PJ Fitzpatrick to fix the small problems before they become big ones. PJ will come to your home with a complete shop on their truck, and they can fix it all same day. Poorly sealed windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, and leaking roofs. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. Visit them at trustpj.com. With over 40 years of experience, they'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com and stay off the ladders.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, we're back with Mr. Diulis. WNBA. Who would have ever thought get that kind of play? I think it even outplayed the NBA. And how about these young women wearing those shirts? And not that it's going to make a difference, but they seem to be very united, wanting money. But when you look at it from a business perspective, and I heard someone very knowledgeable talking about it, who is an agent like yourself over the weekend, saying the WNBA might not have the money right now as they're growing to be able to pay these athletes what they want.
Yeah, I mean, they invested into a little bit of the background material. You know, now they all fly charter to games and things of that nature. So, you know, they made the comfort level higher. But I think the players are saying if I had another $100,000 in salary, I'd fly commercial. That's okay with me. So it just depends upon whose ox is being gored, as they say. But these players do deserve something more. But again, this is almost like baseball, where the ownership, if the ownership is willing to show me the books, you know, show me your books, let me know what you're making, prove to me that you can't afford to pay me anything more. then I'll buy it. But until you get to that point, don't tell me that.
So, do you think they are more solvent than they're letting on? Because they're expanding really quickly.
They are, but are they getting expansion fees and things of that nature? So if they, clearly there are other people who want in, and these are smart people who want in. So if you're expanding and people want in and are buying in, then they must think they can make money as a result.
What am I missing here? Because you travel all over the country. If you're going to Philly, which is the third largest market, I get it. But you're going to Detroit, you're going to Cleveland. Why wouldn't you want to go to Pittsburgh, or at least consider Pittsburgh?
Well, they probably had 3 ownership groups who were willing to put up the money, and Pittsburgh probably didn't have an ownership group that was willing to jump in.
Well, why do you think it's taken off the way it has, besides Caitlin Clark? Because she didn't play last night, and I'll be honest with you, not to say that I didn't miss her, but they seem to be doing fine without her.
Well, they're doing fine without her, but they're not going to do fine in the long run without her. They need Caitlin Clark. She created this monster, just like in the PGA Tour.
Tiger.
Arnold Palmer started it.
Okay.
But no, I was going to get to Tiger. It was kind of like a dying breed, and then Tiger just jump started the industry, and that's what Caitlin Clark has done. And the rest of the league needs to wake up. They knock her. They keep knocking her around, and if they hurt her to the point where she can't play anymore, that's their meal ticket.
So would it be a fair statement to say if she goes, the WNBA goes?
I think. Wow. I mean, if you look at eyes on TV sets, if she's playing, people are watching. If she's not playing, nobody cares.
All right. Speaking of Tiger, what is that guy doing? Have you seen him lately?
No.
He is ripped.
Really?
I mean, he looks like a linebacker. I mean, he's got some pipes on him like T.J. Watt. I mean, and he's got that new sun-dried, that clothing line. That stuff's built for guys like him, which I'll never be able to look like that. But I've been seeing him do a lot of interviews lately talking about, the Open Championship. He looks like he could play in the NFL. I've never seen a transformation like, I don't know what his golf game's like.
Right.
But, man, he must really put some serious work into that.
Yeah, didn't he do that one time, like during his playing career, he got really bulked up and then it was kind of, in the analysis, which is sometimes caused by paralysis, that, he got too big and it limited his ability to be fluid in his swing. But maybe he figures I got no swing anymore anyway. I might as well look good.
I got to ask you, because you're an umpire by trade. I got to show the folks watching that we're streaming. This is the new Dialis Law softball hat, black and gold in color. I love it. 2 gavels and Dialis Law. So if you're watching this in the Metropolitan Window video screen, that's the cap that you'll be seeing his Captain Courageous team play softball. Another season for the ageless wonder over there, Greg Dialis.
Well, you got to show the back too. The little logo on the back, which says it's hammer time.
Hammer time. Oh, look what it did for MC. All right, listen. I do have to ask, though, being you're also a frustrated wannabe Major League umpire, what'd you think of the whole electronics thing?
I think it's actually, I hated it initially, but I think it's time for it. And I like the way that it works. You only get a couple during a game. You got to be very judicious with when you try to use your challenge, because if you don't get it right, you lose your challenge.
I don't like it.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I do. If there's an egregious strike 3 called and or a egregious pitch that would have been strike 3, I think you should have a chance to correct it.
I just love the fact that it's that human element, and we're losing so much of it in all of our sports. And
yeah, but the human element now with all the gambling and all that stuff just leads to so much suspicion.
You said gambling. Okay. Here we go again, and I was waiting for that. I thought if we can get through this segment without him saying gambling and me saying gambling, then maybe the purists of the game who love all of sports will be able to move forward. You realize everywhere you look, there is some casino advertising. I watch highlights at night. Casino. And I know pretty much all of them because of hanging around with Mr. Arnaud all these years, and I've watched a lot of them matriculate to who they are. And they're everywhere. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And look, it's revenue, it's capital, I get it. but you just don't realize how big that footprint is.
Well, especially if you watch the Major League Baseball All-Star Game coverage, FanDuel was all over the place, and inside the games, they were giving the odds. They were showing what the FanDuel odds were on FanDuel. What the next guy was going to do.
That's my one of choice. I love FanDuel. Hey, real quick, before we come back and talk a little golf, are you shocked that Scotty Scheffler's doing as well as he is?
I don't think anything that he's doing nowadays can shock you. I mean, he's the hottest guy.
It's like effortless. I mean, it's starting to think that maybe we might be witnessing, and how rarefied era we are in to have it after Tiger. I thought it would never happen in my lifetime again. But if he, slams the door shut on this one, man, you got to be thinking he's going to have a nice little stretch with some of these tournaments into the fall. And then next year, who knows? Maybe he could get the Grand Slam.
Yeah, staying power. Staying power is very different. And the live guys may be coming back. If the live guys are coming back, that's going to give him some more competition.
How about what he said, though? He goes, this just gives you an idea. Full throttle. It's like me, man. I don't spend any time in the sunshine. I want to go right back to the storm clouds. He said, I really want to win the Open Championship. It'll be the best 2 minutes of my life. I mean, that's the thought process, man. I mean,
get on to the next one.
Let's get on to the next one. But you just don't realize. I'm thinking about, and the only thing I don't like about the Open Championship is the whole, because Scotty teed off at 9:30 our time. I don't like the fact you can't get home and you can't kind of absorb it all in, because by the time I get home, it's old news. But I can't even imagine being a professional golfer, finishing around on this side of the Atlantic, and then you're in Ireland literally a day or so later, complete time change, dealing with jet lag. And I know people work a whole lot harder, but then you get to that fourth and final round and you have to be laser focused when you're still basically maybe on Eastern or Western time as far as the United States is concerned. That's got to be really tough to do. Even as the older you get, it's got to be even more difficult.
Yeah, I've never had the opportunity or the pleasure to do it. I'd love to have the shot to try and figure it out, but it's I'm sure it's odd on your body. It feels different, but I think once you're into the flow, I think you're okay. It's like momentum that only gets you so far, and then you just have to rely on what you do. I think as you're playing, you're good. When you get home and you realize how exhausted you're going to be, then I think it kicks in. But I really don't think that jet lag or any of those types of things affect the in-game process of any of these teams.
By the way, he's now at 15 under, and Rory in a group at 10 under, and Goddard is at 11 under. So things getting a little bit more interesting. He right now is on the 8th hole. He is your leader at Royal Port Rush. A lot of beautiful shots. I've been watching the Golf Channel, and they have the live coverage at 2 in the morning. So when I'm up getting ready to come into work, beautiful shoreline backdrop. Somebody said something to me earlier today. I want to get your thoughts on this real quick. You think it's maybe one of the reasons why Oakmont is so beloved? Because it's difficult, but it's kind of got a little bit of that feel to it, from some foreign land and some unique place.
It does look a little bit like that. I don't know if beautiful would be the way I would describe Royal Port Rush. It's kind of scraggly looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
They need to hire some goats or something and chew up some of that gorse. It just looks awful.
Well, he's already there.
The goat?
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler. All right. Coming up in just a couple of moments, one of our favorites, going to be a part of a lot of these broadcasts because he knows the game. He is the club pro at the Swickley Heights Golf Club, and I am going to work on getting us over there one day.
My man.
I will. I've just been too busy of late. Take a short break. We'll come back.
Hey, folks. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Experts at UPMC are revolutionizing robotic heart surgery every day.
Robotics is the most advanced version of heart surgery. We can do very complex procedures inside the chest without opening it.
UPMC Heart and Vascular Institute is pioneering minimally invasive cardiac surgery techniques, including robotic surgeries.
It's an obligation to innovate for patients to be treated better.
Your heart care matters. Visit upmc.com/heart to learn more.
more. Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life. Your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 76 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in critical condition after crashing a scooter he was on into the side of an SUV. This happened in South Oakland around 5:30 this morning. That man was on the scooter, and after police say he ran a red light, he hit the side of an SUV. Scooter was heavily damaged in the crash. The man taken to the hospital in critical condition. The investigation into that crash continues. Also from overnight, a man in stable condition at the hospital after being involved in a motorcycle crash. It happened around 3 o'clock this morning on the south side at East Carson Street and Arlington Avenue. Police say the man lost control of the motorcycle due to loss of air in the front tire. He hit a curb. He was not wearing a helmet. KDK Radio News Time is 11:31. Next update's coming up at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDK.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water, but you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be warm and humid with clouds and breaks of sun, along with a shower and thunderstorm through early tonight. Our high 83. Clearing late tonight, though 62. Tomorrow, more sun and clouds and pleasant with lower humidity, high 80. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we've got Steve Hopley. He's in the center square, Metropolitan Window video screen. Of course, click on KDK Radio, KDK Radio Watch. Just to let you know, we're all about heritage and the history of where the great game began. So let's begin with this question. How much money do you think Scotty Scheffler's worth? No, I was just telling Greg, you think he'll ever have to work the rest of his life? And then I said to Greg, Steve, if you win one majors, does that pretty much with endorsement deals set you up for life? And this is what Greg had to say.
I said, not if you're going to quit golfing and then you lose all your endorsements and everything else. Then it depends on how large you want to live for the rest of your life.
So what does really set a young golfer up financially if they have, not even to do what Scheffler's done, but can you, if you win a couple of times on the PGA Tour, play your cards right, invest, do certain things? I mean, there's $17 million up for grab, total purse in the Open Championship. I'm just kind of curious about this, so I thought I'd ask the pro. Go ahead, Steve.
Good morning, gents. Thanks for having me on again. Great to see you guys on this Sunday. It's a great question. I think, the PGA Tour is such a different level, and it's certainly such a different level financially for those guys that do win a couple times. I think absolutely they can set themselves up for the rest of their lives. You win a couple million each time, at least probably 1.8 or 1.9 is probably one of the lower purse events in the PGA Tour these days. For at least a good chunk of their lives, but I don't think any of them are ever really thinking about it. I think it's a great side effect to winning and being a great professional golfer. Did you guys catch Scotty Scheffler on Wednesday? I mean, that there's been a lot of talk about that and what it means to win on tour and feeling fulfilled and to see the greatness of these players. And we're certainly going to talk about Scotty, and as he has at least a 4-shot lead here. Last I looked, it was 7 or 8 for a lot of this morning. Those guys aren't thinking too much about the money. They have so much drive and passion to win, and once they win, then it becomes not about the money, but, well, what do I do next to make sure I still feel fulfilled in my life?
Hey, Steve, since we went down this money rabbit hole, just a quick follow-up with that is, golfers back in the day, back in the Trevino days, the Palmer days, they were like boxers where they had handlers or managers or investors.
I didn't know that.
That would put money into them, that when they would win a purse, parts of that purse was going back to these people that were investing in
Didn't that happen with Rory? I think it did, didn't it?
No. His dad bet on him. His dad bet on him.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about that?
A lot of these guys do, and a lot still do. A lot of the guys on Korn Ferry Tours or the DP World Tour, Challenge Tours in Europe, a lot of these guys have sponsors or friends or people they've met along their early careers that are willing to back them and willing to help them out in terms of entry fees and travel and things like that. It's so hard for a lot of these players to make a living on the Korn Ferry Tour or any of the smaller tours leading up to the PGA Tour. It's necessary still.
Which leads us to Neil Shipley, who has been tearing it up a little bit, right? But if you look at what he's doing, I mean, he's probably had to scratch a little bit to get to the events, the Korn Ferry events and those types of things. He probably doesn't have a lot of endorsement monies yet. Now, he's won like 700 G's, I think, this year so far, which is pretty good.
Yeah, man.
But, then you need to look at, he's got to pay his caddy, he's got to pay his agent, he's got to pay, and those agent fees, they can be brutal.
Yeah, coming from from an agent. But listen, there's so much I want to get to you about before we have to let you go. I may even hold you over for another segment if you're not too busy, because we really do appreciate you. Steve Hopley is here, Swickley Heights Golf Club Pro. Let's talk about Neil for a minute. Now, we are rooting for Neil. I really want to see him do well. But I just have this feeling that he's kind of built for this. You know, I was watching him recently being interviewed about working at Oakmont back in the day. I've seen him interview before. I've watched him during these professional tournaments, obviously playing at Ohio State. He seems like he's built to be more than just a one and done. I think this guy could actually win multiple times on the PGA Tour. I think he's just beginning. What do you think about your friend?
I think you're absolutely right. And Neil is just such a great guy. And I think he has the right mentality and he's in the right headspace to really be really successful in his career. He's so positive and upbeat. And, I think golf means so much to him. And he's such a great competitor and wants to win and wants to win multiple times in the PGA Tour as well. But you hear him talk about, the way he goes about his rounds and the way he stays in them and what he does mentally. I think it's so cool listening to him talk about what he does in between shots when he's in slow turns or maybe gets a little nervous. He does math problems in his head. And he's such a smart guy, having graduated from James Madison University in 3 years and then also getting a master's degree at Ohio State while he played there. I think that's pretty incredible and cool to see a guy like that at a high level use something like math problems, just solving them in his head, standing on the tee box to keep himself engaged, but also to be able to stay in the moment and not think too far ahead. It's what allows you to shoot 64 and come from 8 back to win a golf tournament.
Hey, Steve, you forgot to mention his Central Catholic background, too. Come on now.
We had Central Catholic.
We had to mention Central Catholic. Okay, Scotty Scheffler in the zone right now. He's at 15 under. He's got that 4-shot lead. Rory's still hanging in there a little bit. But man, oh man, how fortunate are we after the whole Tiger phenomenon? I thought maybe in your lifetime or Neil's lifetime or maybe even Greg, but not in my lifetime, we could be witnessing the next force dominant, if you can't already say maybe he is on the PGA Tour. This is great for the game of golf. I love it. He just needs his Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I love it too. And I'm still not sure that we'll ever see a run like Tiger Woods went on. The one that's been going around a lot this morning is, I think this is Scotty's 10th time in a row with a 54-hole lead and trying to win. And like any other stat, you then go right into the Tiger's best version of that stat, and he did it 37 times in a row. So the greatness of Tiger Woods is going to be hard to ever be matched, but I think we're as close as we're going to see with Scotty Scheffler, at least for some time. When you watch Scotty play golf, it is remarkable in the way that he analyzes with his partner, Ted Scott, his caddy, is also unbelievable and a huge part of what has allowed him to be so successful the last few years. But the way that they go about their business and he hits the proper, absolute perfect golf shot seemingly every time is remarkable. He's always on the right side of the hole. He always has a great opportunity at birdie. And if he's not making birdie, he's making par. And all of his approach shots are always pin high. It is truly remarkable to watch Scotty Scheffler play golf because it's different than everybody else. And I think the rest of the tour is talking about it in the same way that we are.
All right, I got some DeChambeau questions for you, Steve. So Rob says that Scotty needs his Darth Vader. His Darth Vader can be DeChambeau. However, you got to get him back to the PGA Tour. Have you heard any more rumblings with regard to, getting the merger back together with LIV and the PGA and letting these guys all compete on the same events?
I haven't heard anything new. The latest I've heard is LIV resubmitted for official World Golf Rankings points. I think that was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and official World Golf Rankings said that they would review it and come to a decision. I'm not sure when that decision is supposed to be made. It's hard to foresee the PGA Tour and LIV coming back together like we certainly knew it for so long. It would be really incredible to be able to have Bryson or Phil or Brooks Koepka could have been a great Darth Vader to Scotty. To see a lot of those guys competing would have been pretty special. But when we see him in the majors, here we are again. Two out of the 4 majors this year, we've had Sundays where Scotty's winning by at least 5 or 6, and it feels like it's over by the fifth hole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see, even if they do come back together, can anybody really be that Darth Vader to Scotty?
But look what DeChambeau did the last 3 rounds. He goes 65, 68, 64 after shooting a 79, and he climbed all the way back to, at one point today, he was in second place.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Incredible run by Bryson. It was interesting to listen to his interview this morning as well, talking about it and the pride that he felt, not only making the cut after 65 on Friday, but also today to then follow it up with another 64 and put himself in the top 5 is a remarkable turnaround. And, for me personally, a lot of those guys on LIV are still incredibly likable golfers, and wish we got to watch them more often. But come the majors, there's still great guys to root for, Bryson and Brooks Koepka, and so many of those guys that are great players. It's awesome to be able to see them. I just wish we could do it more than 4 times a year.
All right,
Steve, have you ever...
the Ryder Cup this year coming up.
All right, I am going to keep it for one more segment. The reason being because I want to get some love for Swickley Heights Golf Club. I want to focus on that place and why so many people want to play there and how can people go about and playing there. For some reason, I don't know, man. It must be people have been talking about you because of you being with me, but I've had more people come up to me who absolutely love that track of golf. So we're going to do that on the other side of the break. But I do want to just talk about how the weather really has cooperated too as far as this weekend. So that's not really been a disadvantage. But something Greg said a little while ago to me that I got to get your spin on. Without all these players from the LIV Tour competing with Scotty, you think they'll look at it a little bit differently as far as his career if they never do come back to the PGA Tour?
No, I don't think so, honestly. I certainly wouldn't. I think if Scotty had gone to LIV, then certainly. But the way that people talk about the PGA Tour, that's where all the legacy is. And so Scotty winning it in the right place and winning as many times as he has and as many majors as he has and will continue to do so, no, I don't think people will take away from him at all.
All right, let me get a break in here. We're talking about never getting another Tiger Woods. I thought I'd never see another one in my lifetime. And honestly, Steve, you've lived up to the billing. I never thought I'd ever have another Bob Ford to talk golf with. So you're doing one hell of a job. I just want you to know that. So Bob Ford is living through you. You're channeling Bob Ford, and I'm loving every minute of it. We'll come back. Steve Hopley is here, so gracious to join us for another segment. We're going to focus on his golf course, the Swickley Heights Golf Club, when we come back just a couple of moments. Stay with us.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
20 ribeyes for $39.
The Backyard Butchers are here right now with 20 ribeye steaks for only $39. That's less than $2 a steak. Just look for the big red truck in the parking lot right now at Tractor Supply in Natrona Heights or Tractor Supply in Finleyville. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials. 20 ribeyes for $39. And for a limited time, get 2 pounds of crab legs for $39. Go to backyardbutchers.com for more info. Cash, credit, debit, and EBT accepted. That's backyardbutchers.com.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Folds of Honor has been meeting sacrifice with hope since 2019 in Western Pennsylvania. It's their honor to empower people through education and the opportunities it creates. 41% of Folds of Honor scholarships are awarded to minorities, making the recipient families as diverse as the country we call home. Folds of Honor has earned the Gold Star Platinum Seal as well as a 4 out of 4 stars ranking on Charity Navigator. You can become a Folds of Honor wingman today at westernpa.foldsofonor.org. Please donate today. Spitzer Toyota of Monroeville is a proud supporter of Folds of Honor.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Scotty Scheffler now back to a 5-shot lead as they are underway, fourth and final round. So let's talk about your Swickley Heights Golf Club. And by the way, Mr. Dallas would like to come over and maybe play a round or two, just to kind of come back and tell the listeners how nice it is. But I've been hearing about this for the longest time. I mean, for the longest time, and I don't know what it is, but your name and that course has been coming up quite a bit. Tell me about the history of the Swickley Heights Golf Club and what could we expect and how could we play that course?
Certainly. So we are a private member-owned club. Swickley Heights was founded in 1961. Bud Semple, who is a legendary golf figure in Western Pennsylvania, but nationally as well. Carol Semple Thompson's father was a member at Allegheny Country Club at the time.
Oh, wow.
And he and a small group of gentlemen purchased a plot of land that is now Swickley Heights Golf Club. They opened it in 1961. Mr. Semple went on to be the president of the USGA following that, I believe in the early 70s or late 60s. But we hosted the U.S. Women's Amateur in 1966, just 5 years after the club was founded. Carol Semple played in it, and she made the match play. She unfortunately ultimately lost, but Joanne Carner Gunderson ultimately won. Big Mama, who you probably know well as well. So we have a great champion. It's awesome to be able to say that we hosted USGA event, particularly just 5 years after the club was founded, and that's what Swickley Heights Golf Club is all about. It's pure golf and camaraderie at its peak. We are really proud of the golf course that we have, believe in its championship test. It's really challenging, great green complexes and great greens. We actually unfortunately just lost our superintendent. He's moving on to a new facility out in Utah beginning next month, but we're confident in Swickley Heights Golf Club is just one of the best conditioned and toughest, most challenging golf courses in the area, and we're really proud to say it is.
Those superintendents, Rob, they're like college football players. They get NIL, they're looking for NIL money, and they jump into the transfer portal and get a better offer somewhere else. Come on.
Listen, I have
our superintendent, he's been there for about 10 years, took us through two major projects, a greens project and a bunker project, and he's really beloved by our membership. He's done just a spectacular job with the golf course and taken out nearly 8,000 trees in the last 10 years as well. We're really happy for him. It's more of a future retirement type of move for him, looking to make sure he sets himself up and his family up for the future and making sure that he's going to be as happy as he can be going forward.
Listen,
we're really happy for him and we'll miss him.
I'm a history sponge, especially for the great game that is golf, and I have had such respect for Carol for so many years. Talk about a small world. I would have never guessed that. That's an incredible story.
It is. It really is, and one we're really proud of as well. The main drag into the main driveway, into the club is Semple Road. There was a big opening of that Carol came back for maybe 3 or 4 years ago. She's an honorary member as well. When we get to see her, it's always great. Just what an incredible steward of the game that Carol Semple is, and how blessed we are to be able to call Swickley Heights home for her.
That's fantastic, and she's such a good governess of the game, especially on the amateur side. And why is it that golfers use the term amateur as opposed to amateur?
That's an excellent question. One I've not thought about. My head immediately went to The Greatest Game Ever Played, which is probably my favorite movie, favorite book of all time. And there's a great line in that movie that says, with some choice words, but we won't play with any amateur. And that's a great question. I think historically everyone has just said amateur instead of amateur.
Yeah. Listen, I love all those golf movies, but there are some ones that just make you laugh. Obviously, Caddyshack. But, Bobby Jones' story, and God, wouldn't it have been nice to just sit and talk to him? And Jack one day is talking about, when he was an amateur, Bobby Jones was there. And I mean, these stories just go on and on and on. Owen Wilson's now got this series on Apple called Stick. So the game of golf has got a whole lot of life. And to see somebody like Scottie Scheffler and what they're doing on the LPGA Tour, too, with all of this talent, I think the game of golf is going to have a resurgence like we haven't seen maybe since Arnold or Tiger on both sides of the aisle, meaning the PGA and the LPGA. And I love the world being involved, especially the contingent from Asia on the LPGA Tour. Just talk about the state of your game, which I think is a whole lot healthier than people give credit.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. We certainly feel like it's incredibly healthy. And COVID was a big part of it as well. It brought so many new people to the game. And social media is a huge part of it. YouTube and content creation around golf has become massive. And it's really cool to see the PGA, LPGA, and LIV as well, all getting involved with content creation. I think it's a part of why we're seeing a lot of younger kids be really obsessed with golf and get into it at a young age and being interested in competing as well, instead of, not only as the social game that we all love golf as. We're so blessed. I'm incredibly blessed to be, the age I am and getting into this career when I did, because the future is very bright for this industry.
Hey, you talk about a bright future in some of the famous families of the game in Western Pennsylvania. A young man by the last name of Fuhrer won the West Penn Amateur this past week. Am I correct, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Little Dave Fuhrer, what an incredible champion. I'm so happy for him. Just great playing and an awesome birdie to close in the 18th hole at Sunnyhanna. And just a quick shout out to John Clinchock as well, the head professional at Sunnyhanna, who was just named Tri-State Golf Professional of the Year. But so proud of Dave Fuhrer. He's worked so hard on his game the last few years. And to see him have a win like that, similar to Nathan Pyatt last year, who had a great win, is sort of a coming out party. And I'm really proud of those guys. So awesome to see them playing well.
When you say Fuhrer, you have to always say, I'll drink to that. Listen, and here's the other thing about that great place that they call home. You know what the first four numbers are in their address? This is just me, 1020. So it's karma, baby. I absolutely love it. Look, you have done just a tremendous job, but you got in the final minute, when did this game really bite you? When did you just say, this is what I want to do?
That's a great question. That's a great question, Rob. It's all I've ever known, is what I typically say to people. I was listening to Scotty's caddy as well. He was talking today about how God golfers with them, and it blesses their heart. He blesses their hearts with the drive and determination to be the best competitor in the world. And I was blessed with maybe just a small bit of talent, not too much, but I was blessed to be a golf professional. This is all I've ever known and all I've ever wanted to do. And members of the club I work at, Swickley Heights Golf Club especially, is what I love to do and what gives me purpose every day.
Well, listen, if you ever need us to come up and do a little social media stuff on us, our gift to you, you know how to get a hold of me. I'll be there with bells on, okay?
I will certainly take you up on that. We'll love to have you guys out. We'll get out there for a round too.
All right. Have a great day. Really a young talent who's going to be around for a long time. But you have to admit, especially for you, that would be the dream job.
Oh, well, not the dream job, but a dream job. Yeah,
Swickley Heights.
If I could umpire after, play or run a golf pro shop during the day and then umpire at night, then I'm a good.
Well, Steve Higgins, who's coming up here, who was a great football player, played wide receiver at Alabama, finished at Pitt, was coached by Larry Bruno. You know what he does now that he's retired from the airlines? He works at Rolling Acres Golf Course and loves every minute of it.
I saw, was it Ray Tannehill at that golf course one time?
The legendary Ray Tannehill. And to that Italian mother many years ago in Midland said, go work in the mill. Who do you think you are, Ray Tannehill? I made it. All right, we'll be back. Much more still to come. KDK. New news next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey, and kind of an opportunity for you, I would think, to set the record straight, what you want, what you hear.
Always, I've worked for 2 administrations when homicides was on the rise. The question would always be, what are you going to do to stop these homicides? So now that we put something in place that we can identify that works, now you're saying, well, we don't need it no more. No, why would you stop the growth?
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're turning 65 this year, review your Medicare Part C options now. You need to know the difference between Advantage plans versus supplement plans. Contact locally owned and operated Need Part C today for a free consultation. That's Need Part C. Beat the annual enrollment rush. NeedPartC.com.
Here's AirPro's Rocco Florio.
If last summer took a toll on your old, inefficient central air conditioning system and you got prices from some of the big box stores or your current heating and cooling company and have been shocked with high prices and limited warranties, it's time to call AirPro Heating and Cooling and see why our customers save 20 to 30% over the competition.
AirPro and Bryant are offering their summer special and also 60 months interest-free financing or low 3.9% interest, subject to credit approval. Call AirPro Heating and Cooling. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd, Hilton Garden in Pittsburgh, Granbury in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th, Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Green Tree. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar at 8.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 77 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in critical condition after crashing a scooter he was on into the side of an SUV. This happened this morning around 5:30 in South Oakland at the intersection of Bates Street and 2nd Avenue. Police say the man on the scooter ran a red light, then hit the side of the SUV. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The driver of the SUV stayed on the scene. The crash is under investigation. Also, a man is in stable condition at the hospital after being involved in a motorcycle crash overnight. Happened around 3 this morning on the south side at East Carson Street and Arlington Avenue. Police say the man who was on the motorcycle lost control of it due to a loss of air in the front tire, and then he hit the curb. The man was not wearing a helmet. Criminal homicide charges have been filed after a man was found dead in his home Friday in Fayette County. 60-year-old Alan Newcomer was found dead in his home on Waltersburg Road in Manallen Township, and the Fayette County DA's office has filed criminal homicide charges now against 29-year-old Ryan Tribble in connection with Newcomer's death. State police say the two men got into an argument before Tribble admitted to police to hitting Newcomer in the head multiple times with a hammer. Tribble is also charged with tampering with evidence. A man is facing more than 50 animal cruelty and neglect charges after police say numerous dogs were found inside a camper in deplorable conditions. 36-year-old Joshua Holmes is the owner of the camper that's located along Noblestown Road in Oakdale. When police caught up with Holmes, he took responsibility for neglecting the dogs, which were 6 pit bull puppies. Police say after the charges were filed, Holmes was tracked down to a trailer in Bolger, Washington County, and Holmes is now in the Allegheny County Jail. Well, starting today, Port Authority police will be ticketing drivers who drive in the designated bus-only lanes in downtown Pittsburgh. Those lanes have a special red painting on the street. You'll see them on 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, Liberty Avenue. Drivers caught using those red bus-only lanes could receive a $25 ticket with possible additional fines. Only buses and emergency vehicles are permitted in those special lanes. KDK Radio News Time is 12:03. The AccuWeather forecast next.
Burn by Rocky Patel is raising a glass to you, their locker members. Join them for an exclusive locker member appreciation night, Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. at their North Shore location. Enjoy 40% off the Wish, 20% off Don Julio, and 20% off your favorite Rocky Patel cigars, all in celebration of their most loyal patrons. It's Burn by Rocky Patel's way of saying thank you for being part of the Burn family. They'll see you there July 9th at 7 p.m. only at Burn by Rocky Patel on the North Shore.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water, but you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and limited sun, warm and humid this afternoon. A shower and thunderstorm around, the high 83. A thunderstorm in the area early tonight, then clearing late, those 62. Sunshine and some clouds tomorrow with lower humidity, high 80. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, let's welcome Steve Higgins, representative from the Larry Bruno Foundation Museum. I told you, Greg, he'd have that White Sox hat on, and he's got it on.
This guy running for Pope, Rob? What's going on?
Listen, and after the Pirates have taken 2 on the chin, come on, Steve, you're killing me, but you got to tell everybody about this hat, the history of this hat. This is the real deal. Go ahead.
Well, hey, we love Beaver Falls guys, and we like to promote our hometown guys. And the Polka family, who Gene Polka Sr. was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the late 50s and had a promising career with the Orioles, and then he got sick and he had to retire young. His son grew up in Beaver Falls. His son, which is Gene Polka Sr.'s grandson, played for the Sox, and I believe he's still in the major leagues. He wore this hat in a major league game, and his dad, Mike, came in, and he gave me the hat, and I've been wearing it ever since.
All right, so I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way as far as what you're doing with the foundation, ribbon cutting on Friday, and then we're going to keep you for another segment because I really want the people in my audience, and KDK's got a large audience, to know about your football skills. And, you know, Greg being a Pitt grad, and I love Pitt, and your time there is for also with Bear Bryant in Alabama. This is a really cool story, and, you know, we're about a month away from football returning to the airwaves here at KDKA. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff with Steve Higgins. But, Steve, please tell the folks about this museum, what's happening Friday, Larry Bruno, the connection to Namath. And if they haven't seen one of our videos, which the latest now has already got about 3,000 views, you can go to all of my social media platforms or to the Larry Bruno Foundation to see it in its entirety. We did it on Friday. But this is the crown jewel, and we have such an audience that people are even listening on that app, the Odyssey app, coming home for vacation. You're going to be open starting 3 days a week. They're going to want to check it out. So fill in the blanks and tell everybody about the museum connected to the Larry Bruno Foundation in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Go ahead.
Rob, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this. A group of former players of Coach Larry Bruno formed a foundation. And we have a foundation where we give scholarship money out and we do good things for the community. And one of the things that we've done is started a sports museum in Beaver Falls. It's eventually going to engulf the whole county of Beaver County, but right now it's mostly Beaver Falls stuff. And it's kind of like themed after Coach Bruno. Everything that Coach Bruno was about, the attributes that he taught all his players, everything seems to come alive inside this museum. And I got to tell you, Rob, it's more than just a local museum. We have some stuff in here that any museum in the nation would love to have. Most of it's associated with Joe Namath. We do have, for example, we have the Super Book. It's a behemoth, 80-pound, 3-foot book that is supposedly the best sports book that was ever produced. All the best sports writers, all the best photographers contributed to this book, okay? It was given to every Super Bowl MVP. Now, it was published after Super Bowl 40, okay? So every Super Bowl MVP got one, and we happened to have Joe's copy. He was kind enough to donate it to us, and I think it's the only place in the country where you could see this thing. And the best thing about it is, Rob, it's autographed by every Super Bowl MVP except for one, Harvey Martin. He was deceased at the time that they did the signing. But every other Super Bowl MVP up to Super Bowl 40 signed this thing, okay? That's going to be on display. We also have a highlight film of Joe. Okay, now Joe, I'm going to remind everybody, he played high school football 65 years ago. Max Prep today still has him listed as the 5th best high school quarterback ever. Okay, I think he's the best.
That's amazing.
You got guys like Peyton Manning, he had like 10,000 yards passing, and John Elway and some of these guys are ahead of him, but he's still rated the 5th best high school quarterback ever. He played 65 years ago, and we have all of Joe's game films. We have a highlight film. I mean, this is worth the price of admission right there. Of course, it's free to get in. But if you come down to visit us, you can stand there and watch a 20-minute video of Joe Namath in high school, his highlights. It'll blow your mind, okay, how good this guy was in high school. We have Joe's Letterman jacket from Bama. We have a game ball from the Newcastle game that Beaver Falls hadn't beat Newcastle in like 20 years. And then Joe's senior year, we beat them 39-0. We have that game ball.
Hey, can I ask a dumb Allegheny County question? Did Joe's team win the WPAL championship?
They did. They went 9-0. Okay, they beat Elwood City in the 8th game of the season that year. They were deemed the champs because they were the only undefeated team in the WPIAL. The next week, they finished up with New Brighton. They ended up 9-0. So they won 9 games. They were not only the top team in the WPIAL, they were the number 1 team in the state. And if there were national rankings, man, they were like the best team. They had 13 guys go Division I from that team.
Not everybody remembers, but there was no state championship in those years, right? So it was
no, they would have rankings.
Yeah.
They would have rankings. Like when I played in the 70s, they'd have rankings, but there were no games. But they were one of the best teams ever, I think, from the WPIAL.
All right, but we got to talk about the coach because it's really all about the magical coach who loved sleight of hand, loved magic. One of the things he taught Joe, how to hide that football. Larry Bruno, and you don't have to be from Beaver County. He's much loved to Eastern Ohio, where he grew up in East Liverpool, played at Geneva College. Talk about him, your coach, that man, and why this is such a testament to his legacy, the Larry Bruno Museum in Beaver Falls.
Coach Bruno was the type of guy that everyone that ever played for Coach Bruno feels like they're connected, like we're a fraternity because we have Coach Bruno in common. He was just one of those guys that did everything right. I mean, not everyone loved Coach Bruno. He had guys on the team that would just curse him in the locker room because he was so tough on them. But you knew that he was right. And he was the type of guy that was a leader of men. He's a lot like Gino DeMarco is at Geneva now. You know, he could have had great things, big-time things. He was drafted by the Steelers in 47. He could have made the team, okay. But he came back to Beaver Valley. He gave his talents to the local football players in the Valley. And he was like the Vince Lombardi of coaches down in this area. Everybody loves Larry Bruno and what he did. I love talking to former coaches that have coached against Coach Bruno, Frank Morocco, Don Unessa, when they talk about trying to find the football because they could never find the football because he coached us. He was a magician. He was an amateur musician. He would actually do shows during the off season, magic shows. He loved magic. And he incorporated that into his offense. And if you coached against a Larry Bruno team, it took you maybe a halftime before you even knew where the ball was, okay? So he was that kind of guy, and he was such a visionary. You know, in the museum, Rob, we have books that I never knew existed from the 60s that Coach Bruno contributed to. They were offensive books, maybe on the variable T or certain types of offenses that were popular. And there's all these college coaches in there, you know, Darryl Rogers and all these college coaches. There's Coach Bruno in there that he was sought after for his offensive, his offensive ideas. And I remember him telling me the story when Babe Pirelli was at Kentucky when he came home in 1950 in the offseason, and Coach Bruno was still at Monaca. He sought out Babe Pirelli and sat down and got plays from Kentucky that Bear Bryant was running, and he used those plays in Monaca's offense in those days. So he's been an innovator for years.
All right, I got to get to a break. 2 minutes to the break. So let's talk about the celebration Saturday, what you're doing Friday, how people can get to this place, and when you're going to be open. Then we're going to come back and put the spotlight on you because you deserve it, and you are going to have a chance to talk to Greg and I about your playing days. Really fascinating stuff. Steve Higgins, I have such respect for him and everyone at the foundation. I'm so blessed to have an opportunity just to be a small part of it, and we're thinking about our friend, the late Ron Main, who was such a big part of this as well. So many others as well. But talk about Friday and talk about Saturday, then we'll take a break. Go ahead, Stevie.
Friday's going to be our grand opening for our museum. It's going to be right on the street on 7th Avenue, right on the sidewalk. We're only going to be on the sidewalk for about 15 minutes, okay? I'm going to probably have a few opening remarks. The mayor's going to be there. One of our best athletes in Beaver Falls history, Candy Young, the 1980 Olympian, former world record holder, is going to be there, and she's going to say a few words. Of course, Candy's up on our sign in front of our building, so it's really special to have Candy Young there. But it's going to be Friday the 25th at 1112 7th Avenue, and we're going to be on the sidewalk just for a few minutes. We're going to go in the museum. We're going to have food in there, and everyone will get a chance to see the brand new museum. We're going to have our inductee class that's going to be inducted the next night at the banquet. They're all going to be there with their families. So visitors will have a chance to congratulate the inductees and meet them. And then, of course, that's Friday night. And then Saturday night's our banquet at Shadow Lakes in Aliquippa. And we expect a big crowd for that. And we think it's the best sports banquet in Beaver County. So looking forward to it.
You got to hear this story coming up next about his football life. And tell him how many quarterbacks went D1 under the direction of Larry Bruno as we go to break.
Okay, let me see. I haven't thought about this in a while, but he coached 20 years at Beaver Falls. He's had 11 Division I quarterbacks, Rob. 11. Okay, and a lot of them played 2 years at Beaver Falls, you see. So he had 20 years of coaching. 11 guys went Division I.
Wow.
And then he had probably a handful of others. I'd say maybe 14 total went on to play college football in a 20-year career.
Wow.
And these were big-time schools he's sending these guys to. I mean, Coach Bruno has sent quarterbacks of the University of Miami, University of Alabama, University of Iowa, Cincinnati, University of Kentucky, University of Michigan, Indiana, Arkansas, North Carolina State.
Wow. Man, this guy.
Just the guys that I'm thinking off the top of my head. And then a lot of guys went to IUP, Geneva, some local schools. But, Rob, there's no question in my mind. You could ask Joe Namath this, and he'll back me up. Coach Bruno was the best quarterback coach that ever lived. Wow. He was unbelievable. Every step, every movement.
Listen, when you hear people who actually came to the building, the winningest coach in the WPIL, Jim Render, probably right here now would, without a shadow of a doubt, agree with you. I think that speaks volumes. Stevie, I'm so happy you're here. Looking forward to Friday. We're going to come back. One more segment with Steve Higgins, then the NFL to the top of the hour with Ted Arnott. It's Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDK. We'll be back.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, back on Metropolitan Window video screen. If you click on KDKA-radio.com, KDK Watch, see the handsome young man that is Steve Higgins. He and I both out of high school, 50 years this year. So I'm going to step back. I want you briefly, you got to do it within a minute because I got just a few minutes left and I want Greg to jump in here. A football life. So you graduate 75. Kevin Scanlon, your quarterback, an exceptional football team. By the way, one of the things that they have, the prized possessions at this museum, and I noticed this the other day, the Dwight Collins American Legion uniform. So if you're a fan of Dwight Collins, and I'm a fan of Dwight Collins, you're going to want to check that out. All right, here we go. Stevie, 1 minute, your football life, and then that other pit guy is going to jump in here, Greg Diolis. Go ahead.
My football life, well, not too many people got the mileage out of a non-playing college career like I have. But, if Coach Bruno believes in you, there's never been a coach. I mean, this guy, he's going to get you into a college, okay? And not even Beaver Falls guys. He's got guys from other schools in. But anyway, I had an offer from Michigan State out of high school. Now, Rob, I wasn't the top guy on anybody's list. Okay, Division I might have been the second or third receiver on most big-time school lists, okay? They'd have to get turned down once or twice before they get to me. But Michigan State did offer me a scholarship. Coach Bruno says, you know what, I'm afraid you're going to be on probation soon. You can do better than that. So I passed, okay? It offered me a scholarship. I was already signed my letter with Clemson when they pulled the scholarship on me because remember I told you the Dwight Clark story? Dwight Clark was going to go to Bama, and he changed his mind at the last minute and says, no, I want to go to Clemson now. So they pulled my scholarship, gave it to Dwight Clark, and we know how he turned it. Okay, so it ended up, Coach Bruno got mad. He picked up the phone and says, I'm calling Bryant. Okay, I'm sitting there, my knees are knocking, right? He's not going to get him on the phone. He says, this is Larry Bruno calling for Bear Bryant. All of a sudden I heard, hey, Coach, how you doing?
Wow.
I mean, Coach Bryant picked right up, right? I got a kid here. I think he could play. Coach says, send the films down. A week later, I got a scholarship offer from Bama. That's how I ended up at Bama. That's what Coach Bruno can do for his players.
All right, quickly. So why did you end up at Pitt, and when were you actually at Pitt? Then Greg's going to jump in. So what happened? How did you end up at Pitt? Tell them about the scholarship.
They had a thing called the 90 scholarship rule. I mean, when I got to Bama, Rob, we had 110 players on scholarship, okay? We had All-Americans up and down the staff. There were 30 guys from my team at Alabama that went to the NFL, 3 Hall of Famers, okay? Or 2 Hall of Famers, Dwight Stevenson and Ozzie News, okay? But what they do, they stockpile players, and they ran the wishbone. And if you know about the wishbone, they only use one split end. And, of course, Ozzie Newsome was 1 year ahead of me. And people don't realize that Ozzie was a split end, tight end in Cleveland. So it was hard for me to get on the field. You know, I was maybe fourth on the depth chart. I couldn't break up into the starting team. And they, after my second season, the 95 scholarship rule kicked in. And Coach Bryan says, you know what, we're gonna pull your scholarship. If you want to transfer somewhere, let me know. And 15 of us transferred, and I happened to transfer to Pitt. He wrote a letter to Jackie Sherrill for me. Jackie Sherrill called me up and invited me up to his office, and he says, what the hell's this? I got this letter from Coach Bryan about you. What's going on? And I said, Coach, I want to walk on at Pitt. He said, I'd love to have you. And that's how I ended up at Pitt.
What year was it Pitt now?
That was after the 77 season, and Gordon Jones was their starting receiver. And, Rob, I'm not, puffing myself up or anything, but I went through winter workouts and spring training with Pitt after the 77 season, and I beat out everybody but Gordon Jones. They had Willie Collier, and they had Ralph Steele, and I kind of moved ahead of both of those guys. And it was me and Gordon coming out of spring training. And then Dave Wonstadt was a graduate assistant. And back in those days, Rob, you had to have 24 credits before you could transfer from one D1 school to the other. Coach Wonstadt calls me and says, Dean Billick called and says that you're not eligible. Oh. You didn't have enough credits. So at that point, my parents, my dad worked at B&W. He said, son, when I left Bama, he said, I could pay 1 year for you. And he says, but after that, you're on your own. And so after that year, that basically ended my college career.
All right, Greg, jump in here. Good story, Steve. Go ahead.
No, Steve, that would have been one of the great football teams that as compared to Alabama. What was it like, the comparison working with the Pitt team that you were working with as compared to Bear Bryant's Alabama team? Who was better?
I tell you, I'm not just saying this just to be braggadocious, but after working out in 100-degree weather for 2 years down at Bama and going through those practices at Alabama, I went up to Pitt and I was shining in the winter workouts. All the agility drills, like we were in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, and Foge Fazio would get a hold of us, and we'd have to. I had to wrestle Wayne D. Bartola for crying out loud, and I was the receiver, and he was the state champ. Okay, but they and I went into Pitt. And I was in the best shape of my life, man. And to be honest with you, it was a little bit of a little easier for me after being in Bama for 2 years. And that's why I went out in spring training. And I remember the day that Jackie Sherrill, he called my number, and I caught a post pattern over the middle. Pretty nice catch up at Pitt Stadium. Okay, the very next play, he called my number again. I said, uh-oh, he's looking at me. So it was a 5-yard hitch. So I did a 5-yard hitch. Carlton Williamson, you remember him?
Sure.
He came over my back and tried to take the ball off of me. I flipped him over and took the ball and turned and ran for about 10 yards. Jackie Sherrill got a big smile on his face, okay? The next play, he called my number 3 times in a row, okay? And Rick Tricano is throwing to me. He's the quarterback, Ricky Tricano.
Youngstown's best.
Now he says, okay, we're gonna ride this kid. They had a guy, I think his name was Pat Thomas. He was the other corner. He ended up with the 49ers too. I ran a 15-yard out, and it kind of caught up to me.
Well,
next thing I remember, I'm face down on the sideline. Yeah, he rang my bell pretty good.
Listen, I
got up and I kind of staggered back to the huddle, and Coach Sherrill put his hand on my shoulder and he looked at me. He said, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah." And I think that was the day that I proved to him that I could play.
All right, listen, we got 1 minute. I could listen to these stories all day long. We need to make the audio book so I can just plug it in at night and drift off to sleep with these great stories. This guy is flat out amazing. Magicalcoach.org. Be there Friday, big event Saturday. They're going to be open 3 days a week. But before we do that, I got to give Dwight Collins some love because one of my all-time favorite players obviously played at Pitt. When you look at Beaver Falls and Larry Bruno and the rich history, and when Dwight told me baseball was really his sport, it blew me away. Tell the folks who remember Dwight Collins how flat out great he was as an athlete.
We had Jimmy Mutchler, Joe Walton, Joe Namath, okay? Dwight Collins is by far our best all-around athlete ever. He still has track and field records in Beaver County, maybe in the WPIAL. He was one of Pitt's best receivers ever. He was an all-state basketball player who held Sam Clancy to 4 points as a freshman.
Wow.
When Clancy was a senior. Okay, that was Dwight's second game ever. He held Clancy to 4 points, and you can look that up. That's a true story.
I got to go to a break. I got to go to a break. I don't mean to cut you off. Got to go to a break. When are you going to be open after this week? What are the days? Quickly.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays.
All right, I'll see you Friday. Thank you so much for doing this today, and thanks for everything you're doing to keep the legend of the magical coach, Larry Bruno, alive. To all of you, I'm honored.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
He's pretty good, man. He's a great storyteller.
Smooth.
He knows his stuff. All right, take a break. News next.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Don't miss the Bethel Park Art and Music Festival, Saturday, July 26th from 10 until 6 at the Bethel Park Community Center. Enjoy over 80 artists, live bands, food trucks, and so much more. Admission is free and shuttle service is available all day. Imagine growing up without seeing a ball game, visiting a museum, or exploring a zoo. For thousands of kids in our community, the cost of admission makes these experiences impossible. Tickets for Kids changes that. Learn more at ticketsforkids.org. Looking for an incredible Pittsburgh fresh-made hoagie? Visit Tim's Corner Market in Beachview. Fresh house-made bread stacked high with the finest meats and premium toppings and packed with Pittsburgh flavor. The hoagie you didn't know you needed at Tim's Corner Market on Broadway Avenue in Beachview.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 78 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in critical condition this afternoon after crashing a scooter that he was on into the side of an SUV. It's happened around 5:30 this morning in South Oakland, near Bate Street and 2nd Avenue. Police say the man on the scooter ran a red light, then hit the side of the SUV. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The driver of the SUV stayed on scene. That crash is under investigation. And on the south side, a man is in stable condition in the hospital after being involved in a motorcycle crash. Happened around 3 this morning at East Carson Street and Arlington Avenue. Police say the man on the motorcycle lost control due to loss of air in the front tire, then hit a curb. The man was not wearing a helmet. Man is facing more than 50 animal cruelty and neglect charges after police say numerous dogs were found inside of a camper in horrendous conditions. 36-year-old Joshua Humes is the owner of the camper that's located along Noblestown Road in Oakdale. When police caught up with Humes, he took responsibility for neglecting the dogs, which were 6 pit bull puppies. Police say after the charges were filed, Humes was tracked down to a trailer in Boulder, Washington County, and he's now in the Allegheny County jail. KDK Radio News Time, 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDK.
Okay, I have a big and different question for you to answer. How would you feel if others called you the biggest loser that they knew and they meant it as a compliment? Yes, a compliment. Why is being the biggest loser a good thing? Because 10, 20, 40, 60, 100 pounds are off your body. You're moving better, looking better, doing things that you haven't been able to do for a long time. I'm Dr. Shufo at the Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and that's exactly what we can make you. The biggest loser. We'll eliminate why you can't and only why you can. Call me at 1-800-900-THIN.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Early bird special, $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd, Hilton Garden Inn, Pittsburgh, Cranberry and Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th, Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Green Tree. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar at 8 p.m.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
20 ribeyes for $39.
The Backyard Butchers are here right now with 20 ribeye steaks for only $39. That's less than $2 a steak. Just look for the big red truck in the parking lot right now at Tractor Supply in Natrona Heights or Tractor Supply in Finleyville. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials. 20 ribeyes for $39. And for a limited time, get 2 pounds of crab legs for $39. Go to backyardbutchers.com for more info. Cash, credit, debit, and EBT accepted. That's backyardbutchers.com.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we are here for you, and we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be warm and humid with clouds and breaks of sun, along with a shower and thunderstorm through early tonight. Our high 83. Clearing late tonight, though 62. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and pleasant with lower humidity, high 80. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here he is from parts unknown. You know, the first thing people always say to me, I heard you with Ted today. Where is Ted living at now? Who knows where Ted's at?
Don't tell him, Ted. Don't tell him. Stay incognito.
Listen, Ted.
In my world.
Listen, you're on 30 Minutes with me. That's the first thing somebody says. I'm at the grocery aisle at Coons Market. I heard you with Ted earlier today. Like, don't I have a career? Don't you ever, listen to anything I do? So they love Ted Arnaud. Teddy, I told this to Greg earlier today, and I got to get your expertise. I love the gaming industry, and it's added so much. You know, I was in Washington County yesterday, and I was really enjoying seeing all the Meadows signs and Hollywood Casino and stuff like that. But I'm watching all these highlights of baseball, and I'm watching the All-Star game. That brand is everywhere in the world of sports, is it not?
Absolutely. It's growing fast and will spread even faster.
You want to say anything about that, Counselor?
No, I give up on that one.
I love it.
I'll defer.
I love it, and if it's done right, it's all good in the neighborhood. Okay, here we go. 123 million reasons, although some say 144. Bottom line, they gave T.J. Watt the money. Were you ever in doubt about that, Greg?
No, I was never in doubt, but I love the way that his agent spun it and said that he got his $41 million per year. He didn't get $41 million a year. It's $144 million over 4 years. You do the math. That ain't $41 million, fellas.
No, it is not. Teddy, your thoughts about TJ cashing in?
Well, we kind of knew it. I mean, we talked about it last week. It reminded me of the Cam Hayward negotiations from a couple of years ago, wound up in the same place. And I think it's where it should be. I think it's going to be a great year for the defense.
So
I will say this: as much as I jokingly criticize T.J. Watt, and it is jokes, folks. Believe me, I'm trying to be funny and facetious with him taking himself out of games. He did the right thing with regard to coming in, extending with the Steelers, being that the word, that cliche, that one helmet guy kind of thing. He should have been a one-helmet guy, and he is the nature of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think this is a win for both teams, meaning the management and the player.
I have a lot of stuff about the Steelers, but I got to mention one thing. I saw it last night. I love Deion Sanders, and he loves his kids, and he posted something. He was working out with his daughter, and he actually was jogging with her, and it was one of the sweetest, nicest things, and all I can say is I hope my daughter someday will love me as much and do a video with me. It was absolutely charming. But I want to talk about Shedeur for a minute. Whether you like this kid or not, what he's been doing in the inner city with his own money, for whatever reason, I absolutely love it. You have any thoughts about that?
Well, I always look at these with the jaundiced eye of, what's behind it? Why is he doing it? But if it's just out of the goodness of his heart and it's pure, it's wonderful.
It is. Teddy, any thoughts about that? Then we'll move on to the Steelers.
Well, I think he's got the Deion Sanders PR firm behind him right now.
You're good, Teddy. You're good.
He's doing exactly what he's been told to do.
You know what? I thought the same thing, but I thought, so what?
Make the Browns look bad when they cut him, right?
No, they're not going to cut him. Listen, I talked to a fan from Cleveland a little bit the last couple of days, and she's telling me she doesn't believe in Will Howard, who she loves Ohio State, okay? She still thinks Myles Garrett is better than T.J. Watt, and she doesn't like any of the quarterbacks in Cleveland right now. So who knows who's going to actually get the ball to run with it. Speaking of running with it, talk about segues. Jaylen Warren, how does he come into play this year when you look at these running backs that the Steelers have? You first, Greg.
I think he's really going to be in the same role that he was in before. I think this rookie from Iowa, Caleb, help me. Johnson is going to...
Yep.
Caleb Johnson is going to be the bell cow. He's going to take the Najee Harris role, and Warren's going to be your changeup guy, and he's excellent at that role.
Teddy, Jaylen Warren.
I think it'll start off with him being the bell cow, but I think Greg's absolutely right. As soon as Caleb Johnson gets his feet underneath him, gets the blocking schemes, knowing how to follow his blockers, and Kenneth Gainwell is not bad either. I mean, he had a good year last year. So I think they've got, it's really a whole different setup in the running back situation, but I think it's really interesting.
All right, the other guy that I'm...
Wait, Ted, you're going to give up on Cordell Patterson yet, or are we going to see him as a running back?
I gave up on him last year, about the third game.
Okay, good.
All right, listen. The other guy that I'm really rooting for is Broderick Jones. Is it make it or break it for him this year? Have we gotten to that point, or do we still have a little room yet?
I think you got room still. I mean, they're not going to cut ties with a guy that was their first-round pick, and his money's guaranteed for another year anyway. So, no, they're not going to go anywhere without him. But he needs to be a valuable piece to them, and he needs to perform well. If he does, that's going to make them be pretty good. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, Ted. I think this team can be good.
You know what?
I agree with you. And you got to give Jones some space. This is his first year really at this position. So, I mean, they're moving him over. I think it's going to be a totally different look for him. Obviously, they believe that he's got the ability to do it. But I agree with you, Greg. They're going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, but it's a look, Ted, that he's going back to his college days. I mean, he played in college.
You and I know college and the pros, that's it's going to be a different look for him.
Well said.
All right, so you think Baltimore knew something that we didn't? What about Patrick Queen? Disappointment, man.
I disagree. I think he's been fairly good at that inside position. He just hasn't been a star.
And is it maybe because that T.J. Watt guy?
Well, not only that, but their defense, I don't think, is designed to flow everybody to that middle guy like everybody else. They get those guys flying off the wings. So you got Highsmith and Watt as your pass rushers, and Queen's not really a third down type guy, or at least a pass, a third and long type of player. So you're not going to see him in those roles. So I don't think he's been as disappointing. He may not flash as much as everybody would like him to, but I don't think he's been disappointing.
All right, this is your expertise. NFL Players Association handling of grievances and arbitration rulings, particularly regarding alleged collusion by the league in reducing veteran guarantees. You're allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the league's cheating. They're aligning for the management is cheating. They're not doing what they're supposed to do under the terms of the collective bargaining agreement. They're not allowed to share their notes. They're not allowed to put their things together. Agents are allowed to definitely collude, but the management side is not permitted to do that, and they're cheating. They're ripping these guys off.
Teddy?
Speaking of, I'm sorry, Ted, I got another NFLPA nugget for you guys after that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You didn't see what happened to the NFLPA's the executive director?
I did. Go ahead, tell the audience.
Did you see it, Teddy?
No, I did not.
I felt bad for him. I was going to get to it, but I was thinking maybe I'll let him slide. But you brought it up, so go ahead.
Well, he stepped down the other night,
yes.
Kind of like in the middle of the night. Well, because the expense reports that he was turning in.
Yeah, I know.
Featured, was it $13,000, Rob?
Yes.
Worth of strip club
yes
receipts. Now, the guy's making $3.5 million a year. He's got a $6 million condominium in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. Why did he turn in the strip club receipts? Who cares if he's going to a strip club? I don't. But you can't be turning them in on your expense report.
Listen, when I saw that, I went, now what? I mean, come on, man. I mean, a lot of $1 bills he was writing off.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Rob.
Now there was a lot of rumor, a lot of stuff going on, swirling around his presidency. I think he's the president. His leadership and whether he was right, and he also was double dipping. He was involved with another organization that had aligned with Major League Baseball, so he was in trouble anyway. But then once that surfaced, he got the middle of the night or the late evening email out saying, I'm going to resign.
All right, biggest storylines of training camp. This is how strange the world is. All the pundits are just down on the Steelers. Forget about it. Biggest mistake. Aaron Rodgers is going to just, smoke out early in the season. And both you guys, like me, I still see a lot of stuff to get excited about. We'll focus on some things that are going to be happening when camp gets underway in just a couple of days. It's the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Ted Arnaud, Greg Diolis, and your Pratt Pack, KDKA.
Honored to win the Marconi Award as the best news talk station in the country. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Friends, this is Rob Pratt, joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monuments. John, we've talked a lot about how families should take some time to mourn before selecting a monument. So why do so many people still rush into it?
Well, we're hearing that some folks are under the false impression that they have to buy a monument right away, and even that they have to buy it directly from the cemetery if they want to make sure it will be protected.
And that's just not the case, right?
Not at all, Rob. Rome can design and install a memorial in any cemetery, and no matter which cemetery you choose, our total protection warranty will always remain in effect.
So basically, people should never be pressured into choosing a memorial right away and are never required to buy it from the cemetery.
That's right, Rob.
Thanks so much, John. And folks, you can learn more at RomeMonuments.com or visit one of their 9 area showrooms.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Yeah, don't look now, but camp is just around the bend. So early things to look for in training camp with our Pittsburgh Steelers as we're back on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Teddy, you're up first.
I'm really interested to see who's going to step up and be the number 2 receiver and see really who grabs those reins. I'm also very interested to see how these tight ends all work together and if maybe one of the tight end positions is going to open up to somebody who's more like a wide receiver.
I'm going to show my age here, fellas, or my vintage, if it's because of the vintage car races that are going on in Shenley Park this weekend. I would have loved this to be under the Knoll administration and see the Harmon, the first-round draft pick, come in against Zach Frazier in the old Oklahoma drill when they used to actually wear equipment and go at it in practice. You know, that would have been, to me, what we would be looking for, but I don't think these guys even ever go full blast anymore. So.
Well, funny you should mention that because I didn't have it in my notes, but I heard them talking about it the other day, former players. Do they even wear full pads in practice anymore?
You're allowed, you're allowed a few, and I don't have the rule right in front of me, but during the season, once the season starts, you're allowed 17 padded practices for the entire season. So you could do one a week if you wanted to. Very rarely do they go full uniforms. In training camp, there are no more 3-a-days ever. But there are some padded practices, yes.
Ted, do you like the way they kind of not coddle the players, but because they want more games, they got to keep them upright?
Well, you get more games, you get more. It's all go back to the revenue matrix. This is business, guys. They're after how can we keep our players out there without getting them injured, keep the fan interest as alive as we can, and keep a 17-game season going. And I think that's what they're interested in. So they'll get what they need to know out of their players without having full contact.
But, Ted, that's one of the problems that we've started to notice, especially in the early parts of the season, is that tackling is terrible because in practice, in training camp, they never tackle to the ground anymore. It's always thud. So, you get in position and you kind of give a good bump and then you let the runner keep going. You don't tackle the guys to the ground anymore, but that leads to not being able to tackle guys to the ground in regular games.
I can believe that because that all the way through football, high school, college, tackling's the problem all the way through because nobody wants to get into that situation where you got injuries. But that's That's one of the areas I think in football that's declined. We've got some good cornerbacks who do some really good tackling, though.
And Ted, it's especially changed now because what used to be a perfect form tackle, put your face mask in the numbers and tackle the guy, that's no longer the way to teach because they want to take the head out of the game. So now the technique is more of what we refer to as a rugby tackle, where your head is going to the side of wherever the player has the ball. So usually the player has the ball in one hand, right? So you're trying to put your head on the football, cause a fumble is one good thing about it, but also it takes your head out of the game as far as concussions, and it leads you to shoulder tackles. So it's changed.
It has, and the ones who really pushed that was Seattle back in the days, where they wouldn't even let their guys tackle that hard at all, and it really led to, I think, a lot better game.
Why are so many people down, the pundits, on Aaron Rodgers? Looking at Aaron Rodgers going to be 42 in December, is it just his age? I mean, how can you go from the penthouse to the basement across the board? I mean, they gave him more hope after the Achilles injury going into last year against the Jets with the Jets as they are now with the Steelers. What's the problem here?
Well, I think it's one of those things where if you keep saying a guy's too old, he can't do it anymore, eventually you're going to be right. So even if it's 2 years down the road, you say, I told you he was too old. Well, yeah, you were right. Yeah, he's too old.
But, there are a lot of guys that are playing close to 40, Matthew Stafford being one, still playing at a high level. I'm not so concerned about the age, or should I be, Ted?
I think they've built the team around his age. I think you're going to see his backs are going to be much more available on a check down basis. He's got a couple of really good tight ends that can also catch. I think you're going to see a lot more speed. The running game is going to be improved. So I think they've kind of built this team around him, and the fact that when he does have an Achilles tendon, that never goes away. I mean, it gets better, but and the fact that he is a little bit older. So I think they've done a good job kind of building the team around him.
I'll tell you what, guys. Omar is not a unintelligent human being.
No,
He's
very smart,
really bright, and I think he has convinced ownership that this is a year that if we go all in this year, we can win. And they've done that. They've put their chips into the middle of the table and said, let's go. We're going to try to win this season. And let's see if it happens.
Listen, just for the sheer fact that Aaron Rodgers, who has always been one of my favorites on and off the field, and I'll go on record as saying that, I think he's good for the game, and I don't think he's going to leave after he retires. He'll be connected somehow, some way. Just to have him come out in Acrisure Stadium as a member of the Steelers, I mean, I'd want to be there for that. I think that's historic stuff. Having a chance to see him play in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, it's kind of exciting to me.
Yeah, I agree with that part of it. I don't think he loves football. I don't think he's the kind of guy that you're going to see stay in the game. He'll definitely not coach. He's got too many off-field interests to dedicate enough time to be a football lifer.
So if he does get face-to-face with Bradshaw in some retrospective, and when they're playing a game and he sits down with Bradshaw, do you think that they're going to be able to get beyond some of the comments that Bradshaw made about him?
Rodgers needs to understand it's showbiz. And Bradshaw's trying to make shock journalism. He's doing what he can. He's always been an entertainer as well as a football guy.
Two of the big stories this week in the world of entertainment. Tom Selleck is coming back for 10 episodes as Magnum on Prime in October. Can't wait for that. And guess who's going to be the star? And I know, Teddy.
Wow. They better AI him because I don't want to see him on the beach anymore.
Listen, I have no life. And Mobland, the series on Paramount, has gotten renewed for another season. Tom Hardy, Pierce Bronson, love it. Helen Mirren. But here's the big ticket item. Guess who's going to play Terry Bradshaw in a biopic?
The Peter Boyle, the guy from...
No. You're going to be blown away. And this is not AI. This is the fact. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a huge... I know. I don't see it.
Tom Cruise is 3'7", 114 pounds. Bradshaw's 6'4".
It's going to be the Smurf version. No, I don't know. Listen. Believe me, he could stand on his wallet and be taller than both of us.
Yeah, well, no.
But that's a fact, and I guess he's a really big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
No, we don't want him. He can't. No, we don't want him.
Okay, well,
he's weird.
I thought. And welcome back to the Tom Cruise retrospective.
I cleaned it up. I went with weird. I could have gone with all kinds of words.
Listen, I like Tom Cruise, even though the mission is impossible. Teddy, I thank you, sir. How you feeling?
All right, guys.
You sound like you got a little frog in your throat there. You doing?
Yeah, a little bit, but it'll go away. It's just all these allergies. The heck with it.
What's the name of the whiskey again? I'm heading to the Fine Wine and Good Spirits. Wilson's. Okay.
Wilson.
Good.
That's all.
That's all. Just one bottle of Wilson's. That's all. All right, listen.
All you need.
They make good footballs, too.
They do. So what's on the menu today?
I got a softball game today.
Excuse me, Dad's going to have to go to McDonald's.
Kicking Dad to the curb. He's going to have to get some.
Hey, Dad, I'm on my way home after 6 icy lights. I got a designated driver. I'll swing through Wendy's for you. Hey, by the way, there's nothing better than a bucket of that Wendy's chili. I don't care what time of year it is.
That's the leftover hamburgers from the day before.
That's why Joe Dentisi was right about the hamburgers being the best. He was the smartest man I ever knew. All right, news coming up next. Have a great day. Back all week beginning at 6. You even have me on Thursday this week. Enjoy.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Hey, my name is Nee Addy, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Philo, the TV streaming service that puts its audience first. What does that mean? It means no hidden fees and no long contracts. It means 24/7 customer support with real people. And it means the easiest and most affordable way to watch the stuff you love to watch. Live TV from networks like A&E, BET, Nickelodeon, and Discovery. All the groundbreaking blockbusters from AMC+. A huge library of movies and shows on demand that you can stream now or save to rewatch for up to a year. And fast forward through commercials. We even have more than 100 channels that are always free, even if you pause or cancel your subscription. And the best part, TV shouldn't break the bank. So all of this is just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Check us out risk-free. That's philo.tv.
Hey folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
Grab the girls and raise a glass or a whole mimosa flight. Burned by Rocky Patel is turning brunch all the way up with mimosas after morning, happening Saturday, July 20th from noon to 3 p.m. on the North Shore. Think bubbly mimosas, a featured cigar, custom brunch bites, a live DJ, photo booth fun, and 20% off RP cigars and Java sticks. Tickets are $35 in-house or $45 on Eventbrite, and they're going fast. Lock it in at PGH Reservation at burnedbyrockypatel.com. This isn't your average brunch. It's Burn.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd, Hilton Garden Inn, Pittsburgh, Granbury in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th, Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Greentree. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar at 8.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 78 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Ralph Taylor. A man is in critical condition this afternoon after crashing a scooter that he was on into the side of an SUV. This happened in South Oakland this morning around 5:30 at the intersection of Bates Street and 2nd Avenue. Police say the man on the scooter ran a red light, then hit the side of the SUV. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The driver of the SUV stayed on the scene. That crash is under investigation. A man is in stable condition after being involved in a motorcycle crash overnight. It happened around 3 this morning on the south side at East Carson Street and Arlington Avenue. Police say the man on the motorcycle lost control due to a loss of air in the front tire and then hit a curb. The man was not wearing a helmet. Well, a crash involving a motorcycle and a pickup truck has left a man dead. That crash happened around 1:30 on Saturday afternoon in the 100 block of Vance Road. That was in Cross Creek Township, Washington County. Police say the man on the motorcycle, 37-year-old Zachary Strohmeyer of Avella, crossed into the westbound lane and hit a Chevrolet Colorado pickup truck head-on. Strohmeyer died at the hospital. The 17-year-old driver of the pickup truck was also taken to the hospital. No word on the teen's condition. That crash is under investigation. Well, criminal homicide charges have been filed after a man was found dead in his home Friday afternoon in Fayette County. 60-year-old Alan Newcomer was found dead in his home on Waltersburg Road. That's in Allen Township. And the Fayette County DA's office has now filed criminal homicide charges against 29-year-old Ryan Tribble in connection with Newcomer's death. State police say the two men got into an argument before Tribble admitted to police to hitting Newcomer in the head multiple times with a hammer. Tribble is also charged with tampering with evidence. Starting today, Port Authority police will be ticketing drivers who drive in those designated bus-only lanes downtown Pittsburgh. Those lanes have a special red painting on the street, such as on 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, and Liberty Avenue. Drivers caught using those red bus-only lanes could receive a $25